This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in the beautiful mountains of Colorado, just outside of Avon, Colorado. I'm here at the Roundup River Ranch. Since 2011, they have been helping campers with serious illnesses feel like ordinary kids. I'm here with the CEO as well as the Executive Camp Director. Thanks, guys, for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself, if you will. Share with me, this really is a Hollywood star beginning here, something that was envisioned by somebody here in Colorado. It got funding in 2006, opened the doors in 2011. As they say, the rest is history. How did you get involved with the organization?
Well, I had the privilege of getting involved right in the beginning and being part of the team, working with the board to start the camp. It was really a labor of love. As you mentioned, we are affiliated with Serious Fun Children's Network, which was founded by Paul Newman. But each of the camps is a grassroots effort, and we operate independently and always free of charge to the campers and their families.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this, Sterling. Has this been an industry that you've always been involved in? Is it something that's near and dear to your heart?
It is incredibly near and dear to my heart. I started in the camping industry when I was 14 years old as a counselor at a camp in Texas. And, I grew up at camp and I love it. And I'm passionate about the changes that we see in kids through their camp experiences.
Wonderful. I mean, as a parent myself, I can't help but look at an organization like this and feel like a lot of other parents out there who take for granted ordinary child play. I mean, quite honestly, you guys take what's ordinary and you create something that's extraordinary, get some extraordinary results. Is that really the mission here?
It is. Kids with serious illnesses always are feeling different. And here at Roundup River Ranch, we are really looking to instill confidence and give them an ordinary childhood experience right here at camp that really results in extraordinary results, as you just said.
Absolutely. I mean, quite honestly, it's peaceful out here. It's like a haven. You've created an environment where kids aren't defined by their illness. Right. And you guys take care of a lot of illnesses out there. Share with me some of those that walk through the doors.
Well, we've served in the range of 30 diagnoses. So children diagnosed with cancer or sickle cell disease, children who've had heart, liver, kidney transplants, just a wide range of illnesses.
Interesting. I mean, really, this is a break for the kids, a break from being called a patient. And they can be kids again. They can get out and explore. They can get out and laugh. They can meet new challenges as well as meeting new friends has to be a big part of it. I think the whole thing must be very contagious for them.
It really is. And that ability to socialize, they take with them. And with that comes resilience as they move forward, self-confidence, and really empowerment for the campers.
This is an organization that basically you guys work year-round. We're talking about camps that are available to enrich the lives of these kids. How do you do that here in this climate of Colorado?
Well, we operate on this site from spring through late fall, and during the winter, we're currently preparing for the next camp season. We also offer programming in the winter on a limited basis in Denver to really bring our campers together again, to have another touch point with them and remind them what camp was like and bring them back to that place again.
So year-round, basically, you're preparing for fun. Part of the year, you're actually in the fun. That is wonderful. Some of the families that come out and the parents, this has to be a great break for them as well. Really being able to see their kids be happy, worry-free. Is that what you get many times from the parents?
Absolutely. We have two different types of programs. We have our summer camp, which are the week-long programs where kids are dropped off, and it's more of that traditional camp experience. And that's where parents get to experience that respite at home. They get to spend time with maybe their children who don't have a serious illness. And then the kids with a serious illness can come here and just be kids and play and experience that. And then we also have family camps in the fall and the spring. And family camps are an incredible opportunity for families to come out and experience camp and respite together. And we have so many parents tell us it's just incredible to watch their children laugh again and just have fun and focus on what kids can do versus all of their limitations.
focus on what can do, focus on the fun. But beyond what the kids experience, there's a lot going on in the background. There's a lot in the back end, making sure that not only are the parents seeing this, but you've got research to really prove that camp matters. Is that important for folks?
Well, it is, and we have been involved in research, which really reaffirmed everything we already intuitively knew. We worked with Yale and have done research both here at Roundup River Ranch and throughout other Serious Fun camps, and it really shows the long-term benefits of what we offer and the changes it makes to the campers' lives forever.
Campers' lives forever. Obviously, the parents play a big role in that feedback for you. They're like your survey that goes out there and finds out what they experienced after the camp was over. And obviously, we're talking about a lot of confidence, self-esteem, more independence. These are important things that it's pretty amazing you guys pull off in a short period of time.
It is really incredible to watch the changes in kids in a short period of time. We have campers who will tell us at the end of the week that they feel more self-confident in meeting new people when they get back to school and making friends. We have a leadership program for our teen programs called the CHAT program, and the kids at the end of the week will tell us that they feel stronger to be leaders in their communities when they go home, in their churches and schools, and that's incredibly empowering.
The concept here is part of a powerful worldwide network that really sums up in 2 words what happens here: serious fun. Tell me about that program and what that consists of.
Well, Paul Newman founded the first Serious Fun camp in 1988, Hole and Wall Gang Camp in Connecticut. And then a number of other camps were formed by others who knew Paul Newman. And through the years, the Serious Fun Children's Network was formed. And it's really a network that is now the largest family of camps in the world. There are 8 in the U.S. and 6 overseas and other programs worldwide. And we really enforce on ourselves the highest criteria in medical and camp programming, and facilities and other areas. And really the expertise comes from the camp level. And we share best practices and also work together to some extent to help fundraise for the worldwide family of camps.
That is wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about the fun. We're talking about cabins, cookouts, a warm welcoming here at the depot. That's where it all starts. Is that just the starting point of what some of these kids are going to experience?
It is. We believe in providing kind of a traditional camp experience to kids, and so we want them to have the same camp experience that they would have anywhere else if they didn't have a serious illness. So we have boating, fishing, discovery, nature, a zip line, which is incredibly popular, horseback riding, kind of the whole 9 yards.
Art making, arrow shooting, horseback riding, canoe paddling. These are some cool things for kids to do out there. And basically, it's an environment that's welcoming. Basically, the philosophy has always been that you get involved as much as you'd like to, be it something thrilling, like you said, zip line, all the way to more of a peaceful fishing pond. Is that pretty much worked pretty successfully for you?
Well, it definitely has. I mean, we do implement the challenge by choice approach to programming so that we're presenting opportunities to campers and supporting them in succeeding and being a part of it and ensuring that everything's accessible for everybody. But it is ultimately their choice to what extent they are participating in it. And we also have a philosophy of intentional programming, which an important component is reflection at the end of each activity, so that you are taking with you kind of what you learned during that activity area, during that experience, hopefully permanently throughout your life.
Wonderful. We're talking about a camp here that has seen over 1,000 kids in a season here. You're bringing kids from a region of 11 different states. This has to be a very people-powered staff. Tell me a little bit about this amazing staff, along with volunteers and professionals that come together to make this happen.
Well, we have just over 21 year-round staff, and then seasonal staff that join us that are critical to obviously what we do. But a very important part of just the philosophy of how we approach camp is our volunteers, medical volunteers, both doctors and nurses, kitchen, facility, program area volunteers, and those volunteers that work directly with the campers in the cabins and their activities and supporting our seasonal staff in ensuring that the campers have the best experience.
You've got a medical advisory committee that basically is on board and on call. Obviously, this is a medical supported camp. Why is that important for parents to know when they come out?
So often we hear from parents that this is the first time their child has been really away from home. They're not used to having that medical support available to really allow them to go to this kind of setting. And it is the most important aspect of what a parent is really evaluating for the most part, in deciding to send their child here. So we do have a year-round physician and nurse on staff, and then an incredible team that supports them, including our medical advisory committee.
When I was first presented with this idea of coming out and doing an interview here, I was amazed because, quite honestly, it looked almost too good to be true. And yet these parents and kids, they deserve too good to be true. And when you say there's no price tag on it for them, that's a little mind-blowing.
It is a fundamental concept that we operate under, that everything we do is free of charge to the camper and their family. The families touched by serious illnesses have a lot of financial burdens placed on them, and in this way we can really support all children having the same opportunity here.
Wonderful. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their website. First of all, on the website, take a look at the different programs they have. We're talking about people that are working year-round, but when the sun comes into Colorado and the beautiful mountains are here, you can guarantee there's some kids having fun. Basically getting together and exploring, learning, meeting new friends, and basically meeting new challenges out there, and going home with really some tools and a feeling of satisfaction knowing that they have grown. There's really a lot of growing that goes on here. Obviously, it's rewarding type of work. Can you think of yourself any experience or story that you've had in the past that you would like to share with us?
You know, our staff often talk about how we get more out of camp than sometimes we feel like our campers get out of camp. Our kids teach us so much every single day about resilience and love and giving back, and they're just so inspiring.
Just as unique as the campers that come here, also anyone can give to this program. I mean, share with me some of the ways that people can give back here, not only in donation, but possibly in time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, one of the most important ways is spreading the word. We're always recruiting campers, volunteers, and supporters. And just spreading the word of what we do and what we offer is a key component of our success. Of course, we're always looking for volunteers. We always appreciate financial support, and keep in mind the way you can volunteer is very diverse. So reach out to us and we'll help to find the best fit for any individual.
Wonderful. If we have a parent out there that is possibly watching the feature here, maybe they've got a child, they think this would be a perfect fit. How do they start? And tell me how they get a hold of you.
Sure. If they go to our website at www.roundupriverranch.org, there's a tab on there that says campers, and they can go right there to see the process and learn about all of the requirements that they need to fulfill to get their kiddo here. We've got an incredible camper recruiter that's on standby to answer any questions they might have.
And also, Gary, I just want to interject that if a parent has a question about whether their child's diagnosis fits within the parameters of what we serve, they should always reach out and ask us.
Wonderful. Sterling, obviously we're talking about a camp that adapts to whoever may walk through the doors. Share with me how the program's set up like that.
Sure. We believe that all of our activities should be available to all of our campers, regardless of their age, their abilities, their disabilities. So each of our program leaders are trained to adapt and modify all of our activities. We believe in focusing on what kids can do, and we want kids to feel success when they're here and not show up to an activity and say, well, I can't do this. So we have a way to adapt and modify everything that we do.
That is wonderful. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen. Their contact information is right there. This is quite honestly a vision that began a Hollywood dream of a man named Paul Newman. Got together here in Colorado. What a beautiful place to bring kids out. Serene, it's peaceful, yet at the same time, you're going to see a lot of laughing, a lot of giggling. Families that are really enjoying their children just having ordinary fun. This began with the first camper back in 2011. That is the Roundup River Ranch located here right outside of Avon, Colorado. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. Mackenzie with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm here with North Star Studios. Since 1982, they have been providing all your Pro Tools for your mixing and mastering digital recording needs. I am here with Richard, who is the owner. Thanks for joining us, Richard. Richard, you yourself, you've been part of the musical community here in Colorado Springs for most of your life. You have over 30 years of experience, not only as a songwriter, also as a musician. You're also a producer, audio engineer. Share with me a little bit how this passion of music got started for you.
Well, initially I toured and played clubs and did the whole musician route, and I did not like being on the road. And I thought, how am I going to make a living and have a normal life? So I thought, well, teaching is a viable means of making a living, and the recording business just kind of fell into my lap. I had students that were wealthy people that could afford to let me learn on their dime to do audio engineering, and it turned into a pretty big business.
That is fantastic. I mean, quite honestly, folks out there every day enjoy music, but it is very rare for people to sometimes step into a place where the magic happens, really on both sides of the glass. Why was it important for you to provide a studio like this for Colorado Springs?
Well, I felt that there really wasn't a commercial studio in Colorado Springs that was doing music. Most of them were doing advertising, and it just seemed like a niche that I could fill.
Let me ask you this. You've really been, as an artist before, you've been on both sides of the glass. Why is it important for an artist to feel comfortable in the space where they are producing their work? We're talking about a very spacious studio you've got here. We're talking about 1,200 square feet, hardwood floors, 14-foot ceilings. Does it make for a nice environment?
It does, and that's really important to me because my first recording experience was in a studio that was very intimidating, and I remember I did well, but I was so nervous. I felt like I had lights on me, and lots of people watching, people wandering in, and I made up my mind that if I was ever going to have a studio, that it was going to feel like a living room setting, and so I keep it dark normally in here, and it's just very comfortable.
I mean, quite honestly, it's spacious enough where you're talking about you could put a choir in here, a full band in here, yet at the same time, like you said, it's intimate enough where an individual artist can really feel at home. Share with me some of the most recent projects you've been working on here.
Well, I do such a variety of things, but I do everything from voiceovers with great singers that bring in tracks that they sing over. I recently did a project with a rock artist here in town that used some of Eric Johnson's musicians. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's one of the amazing guitar players in the world. So I got to work with some incredible musicians. And I've also done symphony things, like parts of the symphony have come in with the big handbell groups here. Actually, at one point, we, as a collaborative effort, won a contest with Yo-Yo Ma, and I got to do the final mix down on a project with him on it. And so it's been a pretty exciting business. I
mean, pretty cool because the variety keeps it fun for you as well.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honest, music has changed over 30 years since when you first started, and so has the way we make music. I mean, I don't see any reels to reel there in the control room. I might see some carbon faders possibly, but share with me some of these Pro Tools that you're making available for folks.
Well, I started out with tape, like a lot of us our age, and it was a very stressful editing process. You know, if you delete a track, you can't get it back. With Pro Tools, obviously, you can make a mistake and just hit undo. So it takes the stress out of it. But with Pro Tools, I'm able to pitch fix, time fix, all kinds of different things that help the artist. And also, there's the ability to copy and paste, which takes some pressure off. If you lay down a part and it's going to be repetitive, then it saves hours and hours of redoing things.
Absolutely. I mean, I see top-of-the-line monitors there in the control room. I see them being patched out here into the main area. You also have an isolation booth, which makes it great for folks. Pretty good size. I mean, big enough for a complete drum set if a person needed that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I typically put the drummer in that booth. If an entire band comes in, I'll isolate the drummer, and then I'll put everybody else out here with phones. And it's a nice situation. It's just comfortable.
Speaking of comfortable, you yourself are very experienced. You've been doing this for some time. The veterans in the industry, they're comfortable with you at the helm. What about those amateurs that have never stepped foot in before? Like you said, the first experience was intimidating. Are you there for those folks as well to kind of walk them through the ropes and make them feel at home?
Absolutely. That's the one thing that I do that's different than many other studios, is that I approach this as a teacher. And I love having someone come into the studio, a complete novice, and calm them down, explain the process, teach them how to be efficient in the studio, and also to be able to fill in where they have needs. Like, for example, some guys will come in and they'll have a guitar and they sing and play guitar. Well, they need a lead guitar part over the top of that, and maybe bass and drums. And I can play a lot of instruments. I also have access to some great players if I need a drummer or a really great pianist. So I can pretty much fill in the gap with whatever they need. But the main thing is to make them have fun and really bring out the best in the artist.
That is great. I mean, quite honestly, we've got, I've read a lot of books about past artists, even bands, and a lot of your skills can be developed right here in the recording studio. Is that part of the process you enjoy, providing that feedback for folks?
Absolutely. I think you learn more about yourself listening to yourself when you're not playing or singing. Because if you can stand back, then you actually can see what you sound like. A lot of people, when they play guitar, they do all these exaggerated moves that end up creating nasty sounds on the instrument, and they don't realize it till they hear themselves played back to themselves. So it's a learning process.
Quite a difference between a live player and that and a studio musician. You yourself, you're basically, is it kind of your way of giving back by being an instructor? I mean, you basically are able to help folks love their art, love the music, and what is your instrument of choice when you're able to help folks?
I think I would be lying if I said that I'm giving back, because I get so much pleasure from this that I'm still like a kid in a candy store. And so I feel like I'm giving everything that I've got, but I get charged from doing that. Bass and guitar. And you know, guitar is so versatile because the acoustic is a different animal than the electric, and the electric can be so many different things. And I also love playing bass. I love building this big production underneath somebody's real basic idea.
Wonderful. You have taken teaching a level higher than a lot of instructors. You've actually authored a book, which is the Guitarist Handbook, I believe that is, Survival Handbook. Tell me about that. What are they going to learn?
Well, basically, that book is a reference book, so it has every arpeggio, scale, and chord in the universe that would be played on a guitar. And I'm actually working on another edition that actually has a methodology to it, so it actually is a book that you could linearly travel through the journey and learn guitar with.
Wonderful. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website is all their contact information. Basically, definitely he wanted to provide a studio that is high-tech, basically keeping on the cutting edge of audio, but yet at the same time a place that is welcoming. If you're not sure if this is great for you, set up an appointment, walk through the studio. He is glad to take you by the hand if you're an amateur out there, but if you're a professional, a veteran in the field, he can show you the tools there as well. Let me ask you this, as a songwriter, obviously that's something that started this journey for you. Is that something you still incorporate into the business?
Oh, absolutely. What I enjoy most is working with amateurs and actually helping them to learn to write songs.
Basically, your mission really is to inspire folks. Come into a studio and inspire them to be the best they can be. Has that been rewarding for you?
Oh, absolutely. And I think because of the atmosphere that I provide and just catering to people, making them comfortable, I think has been really effective.
Let me ask you, if you had to pick a side of the glass, either this side as an artist or on that side as an engineer, which one do you think you'd pick?
I don't think I could do that. Now, see, typically I'm on that side of the glass as the engineer, but my guitar is on my lap. Because, see, a lot of the electric guitar tracks can be laid down direct line through the system, so I don't have to be in an isolation booth. So a lot of times I'm engineering and I'm laying down tracks for people at the same time, so I'm kind of juggling a little bit, but it's
All in a discrete environment.
yes.
That makes it very cool. Viewers, last time on the bottom of the screen right there is his contact information. Once again, this is a company that began back in the 80s there, has been serving you many years in Colorado Springs. That is North Star Studios, your musical talent brought to life. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.